Welcome to Dick Morris Democracy. I'm Dick Morris. The Republican Party has become accustomed to lopsided defeats among black voters. Ever since African Americans blamed the Republicans for opposing the Civil Rights Act of 1964, even though it was the Republican votes that overcame the Southern Democrats who filibustered against it, blacks have voted Democrat. Under Trump, the Republican vote has inched upwards from about 6% in 2012 to 9% in 2016 to 12% in 2020. Here's what President Trump had to say about it.
Over the last 50 years, black Americans have mostly voted Democrat, but every day more black Americans are deciding that the old way is not working. 5 decades of evidence prove that Democrat politicians do not care about the black community. They only care about power for themselves, whatever that means.
How right he is. And now, under the Biden administration, there is suddenly a very big opportunity for a huge GOP breakthrough. Huge. On today's show, I'm revealing a groundbreaking survey I designed with my guest today, Republican pundit John Jordan. It was conducted by John McLaughlin and shows that the Republican Party could as much as double its vote share in 2022 and 2024. That means lights out for the Democrats. The poll showed that black voters feel taken for granted by Democrats, just like Trump said. Their needs ignored, and large numbers of black Democrats say that they feel less favorable to the blue party than they have ever felt before. Black voters feel that the Democratic Party takes them for granted, treating them like a handicap on a golf course, assuming that it has their votes in hand and need not do much to earn them. 2/3 of black voters in our survey said they agreed that, quote, the Democratic Party has taken black people more for granted and done less to meet their needs. Younger voters, especially under 40, felt especially taken for granted. 3/4 of them complained that their needs are being ignored. The survey showed that the Democratic Party is in a downward spiral among blacks. 56% of black voters in the United States say they used to be more favorable to the Democratic Party than they are now. And 72% of those under 40, the younger voters, agreed. But the most important finding of this survey is that blacks are starting to reject the key narratives that underlie the Democratic appeal to African Americans. Democrats make a living by reminding blacks that they are the victims and that only the Democrats can be trusted to uphold their rights and opportunities. But the victimhood narrative is wearing very thin. Astonishingly, 62% of all black voters agree with this statement. Quote, too many leaders of the black community emphasize how blacks are the victims of racism and inequity, rather than focus on the very real opportunities for advancement that are available to black people. 2/3 agree with that. This alienation from the key Democratic message was especially obvious among black voters under 40, who agreed with this critique of their leaders by 81 to 19. Some African American voters go even further in their criticism of the Democrats, impugning their motives and questioning their good faith and saying they want to help black people. Half of all black voters, 48%, agreed that the Democratic Party wants to, and fasten your seatbelt, I'm quoting from the poll now, half agreed with this, keep black people poor, dependent on government programs, and united as a bloc vote to help them win elections. Half agreed with that. In our survey, we identified 1/4 of the black vote as especially likely to switch to the GOP, some of whom have already done so. Among these switchable voters, this harsh view of Democratic intentions won agreement with 81%. On some issues, Democrats have left blacks far behind, like when they pushed defunding the police and stripping them of their powers. Offered a choice in the poll between strengthening and weakening the police and law enforcement, blacks favored strengthening them by 57-43, sharply rejecting the Democratic left's view. 80% of blacks report that crime has gone up by a lot where they live, and large majorities blame no bail policies and lighter sentences for the increase. The bottom line question we asked on crime was very simple. If the government adopts an approach that is tougher on crime, would it benefit African American communities or would it hurt them? And by 56-44, blacks said it would benefit them. Nowhere is the liberal narrative more discredited than when it comes to looting. Only 20% buy the liberal line that looting is a legitimate form of social protest against the inequitable distribution of wealth and property in our society. 80% say simply that it's a crime that should be punished. The Biden policy on COVID vaccinations cuts against them among black voters. Suspicious of vaccines, half agree that history shows that minorities are often the guinea pigs who have to take vaccines that turn out to be harmful. They say that this is good reason to refuse to be vaccinated. When the Democratic Party opposes charter schools and tries to limit their growth, it flies in the face of what black parents want for their children. I couldn't believe this number. The survey reveals that 7 out of 10, 70% of black parents would want to send their children to charter schools if they could. That is, if the Democrats would get out of the way and approve some. The bottom line is that Republicans must not join the Democrats in the consensus that blacks are going to vote blue and that's all there is to it. Just as Democrats need to stop taking black support for granted, so the GOP must stop taking their opposition for granted. Particularly among younger African American voters, those under 55, there is a deep cynicism about the motives and the promises of the Democratic Party. It has let them down too often. Some have made the leap to the Republican Party, about 12%, but twice as many are considering and are likely to jump. The core Democratic advantage among blacks is the message that you can't succeed on your own in the face of white racism and need the united backing of the African American community and of the Democratic Party to overcome the obstacles and move ahead. This approach makes advancement dependent on politics and government policy, not on individual education, effort, and entrepreneurial skill. There could not be a more basic divergence among blacks than how they treat the central thesis of the Democratic Party. But while the scars of past racism are still binding older black voters to the Democratic Party, younger voters are looking around themselves and seeing that their interests align with the more pro-growth, pro-education policies of the Republican Party.
After the last election, liberty-minded Americans are facing a difficult question. What do we do now? We do have a plan to stop them. This is the only plan that bypasses Biden and Congress to save the republic. Sign the petition at conventionofstates.com.